Okay, number 2, parks proposal for maintenance and park enhancements.
I was gonna say Heather's here.
Heather, you want to speak on this?
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners, and happy holidays. So basically, we have been trying to come up with a plan for the parks in general. There's some deferred maintenance that we have to do, meaning there's some things that we just have to do, some maintenance issues. When we first started and we put this together and I first come on board, I had met with the subcommittee of the Parks and Rec to go over finances that we would need from capital outlay, to put in capital outlay to take out of the fund balance. And at the time, I didn't realize I wasn't doing that correctly. So I thought it was going to roll into our budget. So we approved about 50 to 55,000, I think, at that time. And then after speaking with Administrator DeSalvo, she was like, no, let's just start with the budget and then we'll look at funds later for that. So that's what I'm doing now. I did go to, I vetted this with the Parks and Rec Commission, all of these projects and how much they're gonna cost. And they did approve that. And so I'm bringing it to you guys to go over and hopefully get the funds from our fund balance. I think it's important to remind everyone that the parks do not run on taxpayer dollars. We run on the revenue that we generate. And so some of that money, we want to pour it back into the parks. And so some of the things are, like I said, are maintenance that we really need to do. And then there's some things that we've heard from the public and the campers. I've been pulling the campers out there and our camp hosts and some of the staff that we would like to do. And so I don't know if you want me to go through these. I do have the maintenance department here too that would be handling some of the work and know some of the background of some of the maintenance projects. So I guess I'll start off with if there's any questions on, you want me to go through them one by one or?
Sure. I
Okay,
wanna jump
so the
that way.
expansion well tanks for the Pioneer Trail Park shower building, we have actually ordered the tanks already. The maintenance department is going to put on an expansion house on the back and then put the tanks in so they can be moved around easier. But one of our water heaters needs to be replaced anyway. So the water heater will cost about $5,000. And then the actual shower building expansion with the tanks and everything, the tanks will cost $4,056.82. We've already ordered those actually. And then the actual addition, so there's easier access and there's a faster response time, will be $3,000. So that's that project.
That's 5,000, right?
No, the water
The
heater.
the addition, it all kind of rolls together, but I tried to, break it
Okay,
down.
okay.
So that's that first part, which it's about, 12.
Oh, I see.
11,000.
Okay, I understand. And the expansion is the 3,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
the building. And I do have, like I said, people that if you need to know specifics on that are here. The Pioneer Trail Park Dog Run, we feel would be a great benefit to Pioneer Trail. We've had a lot of campers that, right now your dogs are leashed and that's great. But we thought it would be neat, and it was actually our camp host idea to put in a dog run, and we have a perfect spot for it. So we did get a quote, and we, talked to the campers, and then it's also for the day use people that come to Pioneer Trail Park too. There's not any area, I think there's one at the airport, as we know, and then one at Wells. But on this side in Gladstone, in that area, you'd have to go over to the beach in downtown Gladstone to use it. So we thought that would be a really cool thing to invest in our parks, and to, we had a lot of great response with that. And then, the trash receptacles on here too. So it was about just under $10,000. And then to put in that trash receptacle. We do have the Gladstone Woodshop class is making benches, and they want to put one of the benches into that too, if that gets approved, so.
Oh, that's great.
And we actually went to the school and talked to them, and it was a really neat experience, and Scott got to share what it's like to work in the skills, so it was skills trade, so it was nice. The office, I skipped the wood sheds. So the wood sheds are basically so that we can put up a permanent structure that, or a secure structure for the firewood. Right now, they did lay the concrete out at Pioneer Trail Park, and we have a truck and we put it there, or they just put the little bins of wood there. At Fuller, there's nothing yet. We have a little shed, but I think they just kind of back something up to it, and there has been reports of wood missing out there, so it would be nice to keep it locked up. That park there's lots of different sections, and so the camp host, is either on different sections, it's just hard to watch it. So that to us was a no-brainer to get these wood sheds built up. And it's an investment too with the firewood, so we want to keep it safe and keep it under control. The office, general store, when we did it, we didn't budget for the shelving in our budgets, because I had thought, I'd done it incorrectly and thought that it was, just gonna all roll into that. So that $500 is just to build the shelves inside the office to house our T-shirts and our new logo is done, the stickers are ordered, the shirts are ordered, and we're still, getting some more cool swag coming, but that's what that would be for. And we'll do that in-house, put that general store up. But we did budget for the merchandise for that already. And then what we call the back 40 road repair is basically, it was the old rustic area that under the district, they brought electricity to Pioneer Trail Park in the back there. So we did take some trees out of there already because it was really hard to get around in there. And we had one camper that ran right into a tree and scraped up his side. And so it's nice, but now we need to take and put some gravel down in the road and grade that so the people on their campers can get back there, it's safer and for everybody. So that's the 4,000 would be for grading the road back there.
Quick question for
Yeah.
that. Is there a way we can get the road commission to help out with that and include it in their road system?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. I would hope so. I know that the maintenance department said that they could probably step in and help too, as long as we got the gravel, because they have a skid steer. Is that right, Corey? At the sheriff's department. So I could look into that.
Well, and would the road commission be willing to donate the gravel? Because it would be expanding their road system. Because I believe the parks were already included in that road system,
Except the county forest.
except the county forest. But this isn't the county forest.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just saying, you
Yeah.
just said the parks. And I
Well,
said, except the county
Right,
forest.
the parks aren't the county forest, though.
The
But
county
when-
forest
when you
is in
s-
the parks.
Semantics. Okay.
Yeah, I can look into that for sure. I know, from what and I'm kind of new, so forgive me for this, but for what I understand, when we do something with the road commission, we're paying half the cost anyway. So maybe they would do something for us and alleviate some of that
Yep.
cost.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you. I will look into that for sure. And then some signs. We are in desperate need of signs everywhere, and we get calls all the time. Sac Bay, Rapid, they're just dilapidated and old. And then we also need, signage just in the parks in general for things that aren't even there. So that's something that I feel we need no matter what. And then our picnic tables, we want to use the treated wood. Scott has told me this many times, not the untreated. I hope I'm doing this right. So we want to create some that'll last for a while. And we can create 40 picnic tables that will be there for a while, so we don't have to keep doing it every single year. So that's the first half of it. And then the second part is the Fuller Park redesign. And, okay, so I'm just going to jump into it. I don't know if you guys have heard, this did go through our Parks and Rec Board, like I said, and it was approved. I do have maps that I'll hand out too, so you can see it. But looking at, all the public input that we've received and the work that the Parks and Rec Board have done, and then my conversation with the DNR, with John Mays and Clay Summers, I came up with a proposal that I thought was pretty solid, that made the most sense to be compatible with the day use area. And I tried to consider everything. I mean, this has been well vetted, and there's been just a lot of care and consideration in this. So relocating 4 of the 6 cabins to the front of I should pass this out so you can.
We'll give you the bunch of,
Okay,
send them down.
all right, thanks. Sorry, getting used to how this is done. So for this year anyway, we are looking at moving 4 of the cabins up to what I'll call the day use side on the north side. And then removing all of the RVs, sites there, all of them out. So the 2 on the beach, the 4 in the middle, and, just leaving those ones on the side, but replacing those with cabins. Now, we did talk about the playground. I know you guys are aware of that. So the playground for the day use side is, right now proposed to go in the middle of that inner circle down there where it says playground. So we're losing revenue there. But if we move these cabins, at least 4 of them up, I did have a contractor come out, and the one that did the emergency work when it did flood there with a rising lake level in 2020, and they had to move back 2 sites, off that lake, off that high water mark where it flooded back there. And it's like it was moved back over here, 2 sites. So, and he felt pretty good about where these were placed. And so that's just one part of it, is now you have a day use site that doesn't have, those 2 campsites for RVs that were on the beach, that's not very welcoming to day use. I know when I was there, even walking around to look at playground sites, I felt weird because somebody was camping there. And when I talked to the DNR, they had the same sentiment, it's just not welcoming. So at least getting rid of those 2, and then having something where when people come and they're hanging out, or they're using the river launch, or they're using the beach, and they're seeing these cabins and seeing how beautiful they are, they can have a part of that too, because, just because you don't have a camper, you can still come to the beach, and you can have lake access, you can have river access, and you might want to actually rent one of the cabins, So we thought that would be nice, and they'd also be hooked up to electricity for about $3,400 a piece. Keeping them in the back, the 2 other ones, we only budgeted for 4, moving 4 up, because we had the 4 sites, existing sites. We would leave that open for RVs to use generators that are campground approved, because they are near the road. And then they might drown out some of the noise from the highway noise, the generators, but they're also away from the rest of the camp, like the campground actually. And then we could eventually turn that into the group camping area that we're losing in the front, to be in that little section in the back. So let me back up really quick. The 3 main things that I heard about the cabins in the back were the noise of, the excessive noise of the highway, the lack of electricity, and the lack of water access. They're not near the water. So we're trying to, really be considerate of that. And then I don't have the map of the other side. I apologize, but on the other side of it, which is the campground side, I have 1 map. We're looking at, the playground we want to put over here, and this was site 10 originally. So we want to put the playground right here. It's in a great location. It's right across from the host. It's right next to the shower building, and there's also an artesian well in there that people walk into that site anyway. It's a shared space. So it makes really great sense to put it there. We removed the playground equipment here that was outdated, and now that's opened up the beach a lot. And there's some sand over here, like a sandy area, that isn't used for anything right now. So we can easily fit 2 sites there, and then 1 site over here that's not, the map is not to scale, so it looks funky, but it's not blocking any of the lake view of these other sites. And we also had the contractor look at that and said it would be very easy to do. And then we would take this site where the playground is and just move it down here where there already is a lot of room on site 9. So in saying all that, I had, where did I put those costs? So we had looked at the relocation of the cabins. The $10,000 was moving the cabins, moving 4 of those cabins, with a contractor moving those for us. And then the gravel pads would cost us about $1,000 that we could put back. So if anything ever did happen, I mean, it's kind of a pain, but we can respond quicker. We can be able to move those, and they're not permanently affixed there. And then we were gonna get keyless entry, which is like, an Airbnb, so we don't have to be out there every second checking people in. They could just camp spot, we'll do a code, but for that, we need the internet. So we had talked to Brandon, and Starlink would work out there. And then adding the 4 sites on the other side, and I apologize for these numbers coming late on the end. I just got them actually yesterday when I sent them. It would be $3,400, so $13,508, approximately, I guess. And then $6,500 for the adding the 4 sites. So that's that. I wanted to also add that one concern was that these cabins were purchased by Bessie, and that Bessie had wanted the cabins to remain in the woods. So I have been trying to get a hold of somebody from Bessie, and actually today, Mr. Ray Delmont did call me back finally. So that was great. I mean, he was busy. So not his fault, but it was really nice to speak with him. I did share this map with him. This is the map I created for him to look at. And so he did say that he's going to speak with Mr. Bessie on it. I did tell him today that, I didn't anticipate hearing from him, but I was glad I did. And that we want to move the cabins with a support letter from Bessie. So I guess I went out in a limb and said that we will not move the cabins unless they do support that. And so I'm asking you guys to approve this relocation of the cabins contingent on the fact that Bessie will give us that letter. They did give me another option that I don't know if I want to speak of yet, but I want to let them have time to figure it out and see how they feel about it. Regardless of that, I would like to add the sites over on the campground side though, because we are going to, we want to plan to remove those sites on the day use side to put the campground there. And we have to keep generating revenue, of course, so that we can keep maintaining, the cabins and in the parks in general. So those are, I think, a no-brainer in my opinion, to add those 3 sites and move that one over. And it's minimal cost of $6,500. Questions?
How many sites are we plus or minus with all this rearranging?
So with all of this, we would be down 3 sites.
So okay, and how are we making up that revenue?
That would be, or actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking if we didn't move the cabins, so my brain is, so if we didn't move the cabins and they stayed back there, we would be down 3 sites. If, if Bessie didn't give that letter of support. If we did move them, we would be, let's see, because we would still have the 6 in the back, and I think we're still down 3 though, right? Trying to remember.
But you're making up the revenue by adding one additional lake site, which provides additional revenue. And the cabins are going from $50 to $70 or $65 per night. So there's additional revenue there. And they would have higher occupancy.
Yeah.
They have very low occupancy where they are right now.
I'm sorry, it's 3. We would be, no matter what, we would be losing 3 sites. But like Commissioner Williams said, I did do a chart, a breakdown for the Parks and Rec Board. I don't know if you guys got this paper in your packet. I'm not sure what you guys got, I'm sorry.
All we got was the cost.
Okay, so
This list.
I did a breakdown of conservative on 30%, and I can send this to you. But 30%, if the park was rented at 30%, how the remodel would go, we would make pretty much $99,000. Middle of the road would be 50% if it was rent occupancy, would make $132,860, and at 70%, which we're usually around 70 or higher, for most of the sites, we would be at $180,000. This past year, we were at $127,000. So at 30%, we are under that, but not by much. And then at 50%, we are over that by $4,000. And that's because when the cabins move over, they are more expensive. They're by the water, so we did raise that rate. We still have in the back the tenting sites that are 25, and then the RV sites, the 4, and then the cabin that's 50. And then the lake sites are the more desirable, so we're adding 3 of those at, I think they're $45, but
But you're only adding one of those.
Well,
You're
I mean-
moving 2 and you're adding 1.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So you're
losing
only
2 and
adding
moving
1.
1.
And this was this was voted on by the Park and Rec Commission, and it was their recommendation that this move to the full board,
It
correct?
was, and but at the time, we hadn't, I hadn't heard from Mr. Ray Delmont. So that's the only thing, I guess, that I am modifying, is that we only move forward with the cabin relocation if they, if they give a letter of support and agree to it. But I would still like to move forward with the campground addition.
Another question.
Yeah.
With one of the biggest complaints you said was electricity. And
Yes.
I had thought we approved UpCoda have their easement through the campground, and they were gonna put a transformer right where that site was gonna be, where the cabins currently are, so we could run electricity easier. So that was gonna take care of that issue.
I was gonna say, when their easement part goes through, it's the box they're putting.
Right.
Yep.
Not
Not
the
a
hardware
transformer.
or wiring yet.
But it was gonna make it a whole lot easier to add that electricity,
It would
correct?
make it easier.
Okay, so that was gonna kind of take care of itself. And then my last question is, have we thought about when the Bark River has an ice jam and where that water is gonna go?
That's happened several times.
Yep.
And it never goes in this particular location, if that's what you're,
So I'm looking at like
Insinuating.
site 4 and site 3. And if we get an ice jam, I can't even remember hearing about it, but it was almost right from 4, almost directly through 3, if not pretty darn close. Like it
See,
jammed here
so
and then it went.
I guess I don't have that knowledge. I mean, the knowledge I was given from the contractor that went out and responded to in 2020 when it flooded, and I had just started at the parks there, so I was in the office. And he said that area was fine.
So for high water, absolutely. But the Bark River does ice jam, and when it ice jams, it does flow, like it has flown right through there.
do you have evidence of that?
Yes,
When?
it was 1987.
And you have like a photograph of that?
I have the data of the floodplain of 1 and 2.
What's a floodplain of 1 and 2?
So there's different stages of floodplain. There's floodplain 1, there's floodplain 2, there's floodplain
Right.
3. So that information does exist.
Could we see it?
I don't have it on me, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Does cabin, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where cabin 4 is right now, is there already electricity there?
Yeah, there's a ped box there and
There-
RV camping.
There's a head box and water spigot for each of these locations.
Thank you.
So this would actually even be a little bit better situation than what we're even alluding to with these cabins, because they'd actually have water as well. Not water in the cabin, but right outside the cabin, they'd have a spigot, so they'd have water available to them.
How high are we gonna have these cabins above the ground? I mean,
They're off the ground, just like
How
they are
high?
now.
Oh.
What are they, about a foot? 8 inches?
Probably about 6, yeah.
Okay. They're on right now, they exist on a gravel, kind of a gravel
Yeah.
pad on posts that are, running parallel.
is there any
ground.
way we could raise them up maybe another 8 inches, so if there is a flood, we could prevent
We had
it?
talked about stilts at one time, but I don't have all the like the background on that, but yeah, absolutely.
They'd be a little more permanent.
Yeah, it'd almost have to be like a cement, you'd have piers, essentially. Yeah.
For- Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
For me, if we were gonna move them, I would want them to be in something more solid. From what I understand, like the frost heaves the cabins and some, we have doors that need to be shimmed out, or we have things that don't close as well as they need to. If we're gonna move them and do it, I kinda would want a 4-foot footing to make sure it's not going anywhere and it's nice and solid.
So like we're talking piers, so
Yeah.
like 6
Yep,
feet or,
yep.
below the
Yeah,
frost line
Yeah, below the
piers.
frost line, and make it so if it does
Yeah,
in
that
fact
makes sense.
flood, because, we could debate that all day. But if it does flood,
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to see water go under and not wash out our footings and then just take everything else out with
Gravel
it.
will wash right out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna make a motion I'd like to do it in separate though, just because of the contingent with the Bessie. I am going to make the motion that we accept the recommendation from the Parks and Rec Commission on the deferred maintenance, for fiscal year 2026. So that would include everything from the expansion well tanks for Pioneer Trail Park shower building down to the picnic tables.
I'll support that.
Any more discussion? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
I would like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation from the Park and Rec Commission and from our Parks Manager for the Fuller Park redesign contingent upon the letter of support for the relocations of the cabins at OB Fuller Park.
Would you be willing to amend your motion to state instead of gravel pads that the cabins be put on piers?
Yes.
Okay. What?
So,
We would have to have, I'm sure that's, the price is gonna
I
be a
have
little bit
the, I
different.
have the motion, but there's no support yet.
Support.
Discussion.
now I can talk? I'm sorry, I just don't know like the rules.
Yeah.
I apologize. So if, whether or not that comes or not, that letter, I still want to be able to do the new site. So would that be part of this?
This is just the relocation of the cabins.
Of the cabins, okay, got it.
So your first motion then included the campground add 4 sites.
No, my second part of the Fuller Park redesign is taking the recommendation of the Parks and Rec Commission and our Parks Manager, and the relocation of the cabins would be contingent upon the letter of support. Just the relocation of the rest is included in the motion of,
Okay, got it. So that campground add 4 sites at the bottom of that list is included in that first motion. I just
In-
want to make sure I'm
yeah.
clear. Okay, thank you.
no.
No, second motion.
It's included in the second motion.
Second motion.
That's
Okay.
not what the parks manager is asking. That's why I'm confused. She just said she wants to make sure that even if the cabins don't get moved, the cabin stuff doesn't go through, that the sites get added to the campground. And your motion, if it includes everything that's on the bottom there, that wouldn't happen if she doesn't get a letter of support from Bessie. Do you understand? You see that very bottom, that
I
very,
see what you're talking about.
where it says campground, add 4 sites?
Did the Parks and Rec Commission recommend that we do that part?
Yes, but we
Okay, then
didn't have a
that's what I'm
price at the
saying in my
time.
motion.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you are including that. Okay,
Yeah.
so Nancy, we just need to make sure that's clear. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I was
Mm-hmm.
confused.
Now, if we do put pillars in, isn't it going to greatly add to the price of the gravel pads?
I think we should ask maintenance if they could
Maintenance.
provide us some
Cory?
input there.
Cory, can you come up, please? Or
Scott?
Scott?
Oh,
Or both?
Yeah, it'll add a little bit to it, it's a lot more work. Probably should still put gravel pads up even with that, because come on, when you fill in the bottom, we're gonna have critters crawling in underneath that.
Now, Scott, is it possible just to put a floating pad up?
Flat,
Yeah,
yeah. We could do that as opposed to putting.
would that be less expensive or,
because floating pad,
Sometime I would say yeah, but I don't think it would be, no, I think it would be.
okay, okay.
I mean, are we talking hundreds or thousands?
Thousands.
Probably run about, 200 to 2,000 per pad.
Not to exceed
And I'm
$10,000.
I'd have to figure out what it would cost for piers, you know. We do for piers, we known with a 6x6 coming up or something.
Is that something that would have to be engineered?
if we get over, what, 12 or 15,000, it has to be engineered?
I can't remember.
I think it's 15
Yeah.
Would that be for each?
to be total.
I don't think it would cost that much.
I wouldn't think so either.
I guess with the parts that we don't know yet, with the prices from what either one's gonna be,
Yeah.
and we're waiting on the letter. Is
Well, and
that
the
something we
other-
wanna look at, just deferring until we get that letter, and then we can get the estimates back on which route to be able to make a good
I would
decision?
like more information.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, yeah.
So even
think
if we
people
just
understand the
put the
process here.
cabin 4 and the cabin 3 on stilts, cabin 1 and 2 are not in any danger at all. So I guess why it's tough is because reservation booking open next Monday. So as far as the cabins go, that's, a little thing if they don't go through, but that other section, getting those 3 added sites or I want to move those sites off the beach no matter what. And so moving them over to the other side and adding one, I'd really like for that to happen, or, for you guys to make a decision tonight, so that we can at least let
I think
campers
that's
know
already
they're
done.
booking.
That's already done.
No, we
No,
haven't.
that's
No,
in
no.
this, that's in the
No.
whole
She put
motion.
it,
That's
We
in the
haven't voted
Fuller
on it
Park.
yet.
I wish
Okay,
they were
then I'm going
separate,
back. I'm confused again.
So-
Nancy, the
Here-
original.
Okay, here we go. I am going to rescind my motion.
Okay.
Rescind your support.
Okay,
Okay, and now I am going to make the motion that we approve, per the recommendation of the Parks and Rec Commission and our parks manager, to move the 4 sites at OB Fuller Park per her request. From the day use area
Okay.
to
The
the new
addition.
loop, to the new loop.
so, but it's not just from the day use area, like, site number 10 is being moved. It's in the campground.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be clear
So,
here.
So
could I-
add
could-
the 4 new sites.
Could I
To
make
add
it, yeah,
four new
The
sites.
last
That's
Whoa,
perfect,
whoa, whoa,
Nancy.
one
Thank
at a
you.
time here.
is that your motion?
Whatever, yeah.
Okay.
We just like to make mountains from molehills. Yes, that's my motion, to move the
add
4
4
sites.
Add
them.
the 4
Add
sites.
the 4 sites.
Okay. I will support that.
Thanks.
Any more discussion on just moving the 4 sites?
Adding the 4 sites.
Or adding 4
Baby
sites?
steps.
See?
Adding the 4 sites.
Wow. So we're gonna,
Proud.
we got, Nancy, can you read that motion?
Moved by Commissioner Van Genhoven, seconded by Commissioner Johnson to add I can't read my writing. Add 4 new sites at OB Fuller Park.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
And then I just ask that when you receive that letter, if you receive that letter, you let us know, and then we can go, as Parks and Rec Commission will have to look at the piers and the things of that nature.
I
correct?
think, I don't know why we wouldn't just make a recommendation to allow her to move forward. If she needs to do, if it's determined that these 2 cabins, 4 and 3, need piers, because she makes a good point, it's only 2 of them.
Right.
It's not even 1 and 2. If she's allowed to move them and she needs to do piers or slabs or whatever, but just work with her maintenance department to figure that out. If it's over the budget that they've been allotted in the motion, they would have to come and ask for more fund balance. So then she's not stuck waiting on another meeting for us. She can move forward. That's what I would do. So,
Chair, if I may. The problem I have is I want to fix all 6 cabins right. Like, we're having a problem with heaving, not on where the sites are going to be, but where the sites are right now. So the heaving of the frost is a problem currently, and it's going to be a problem. So I would like this fixed right for all 6 cabins. And that's why I'm dragging my feet, because I want to know what 6 cabins is going to cost, so we can fix 6 cabins.
well, but could she move forward? Because she's got opening that's starting. I mean, people are going to start making, they already are making reservations. So, I mean, I understand getting the work done and figuring it out, but giving her the ability to move forward so that she has, the necessary, she can just start the process instead of waiting for us to have another meeting. She can start the process.
I feel like it's too rushed.
Wouldn't it?
Too
wouldn't it-
rushed. We've been
wouldn't
working
make
on it for
sense
months.
That she gets the quotes on all of that? I mean, that's gonna take more than a day, right?
I already have,
Yeah.
oh, you mean on the,
Like
for the two new,
For
we
the,
have to raise
the
them?
pad and,
Did
Yeah.
you, when you were at the Parks and Rec Commission and you presented this budget, you said that the 10,000 was more than what it was gonna cost. So there is some
Wiggle room.
flexibility in this budget, right?
Yeah, we did shoot a little higher just in case, but.
Okay. And the Parks and Rec Commission, if we were going to do work on the two cabins that are in the hemlock forest, I mean, it wouldn't be done necessarily at the same time, because I think it makes sense to work on that area when we get electricity, when we can actually run electricity in that area, which we don't know when that's gonna happen. I mean, the UPCO has an easement, but they have not scheduled anything. I mean,
Sure.
who knows when that's gonna happen?
But I still like, so we're still gonna deal with every spring or every fall, the wavingness of the cabins.
How much of that's going on, you guys?
But they usually go back in the summer.
Okay. So is it a big deal?
Used to that right here also.
Okay. Is it a big deal?
Yeah, because, you can only adjust them so many times when you run out of jam.
Okay.
So if we put a floating slab under each one of those, just a floating slab, would that,
That would fix it.
yes,
That way it's all moving at once.
correct. I would suggest putting a floating slab on the two remaining that are in the back.
I would move that we send it back to the Park and Recreation Commission.
Support.
With the additions.
We got a motion, we got a support. Any more discussion?
Yeah, when is your next Parks and Rec Commission?
December 11th?
You're gonna have to redo everything. You know that, right? And it's gonna have to be an emergency order.
I don't understand why we can't just book it like it currently is. Like, what's the rush?
There's no rush. See, I think what people misunderstand is that the reservation, the process of reserving starts on Monday. So everything has to be in place for that to happen. And so if she can get the letter of support, in the next couple of days from Bessie, then the plan to move the cabins and the map that exists and the reservation system that exists for the public to see is all accurate right now. So if we don't allow her to move forward, people are gonna go on the site on Monday, and it's gonna be inaccurate because the cabins are moved where down to the water. That's down to where the day use area is. If we don't allow that, then she just has to have Camp Spot completely redo the setup, because right now it's set up as if they can move forward.
Well, why would that change have been made on the map when
Because there's a 3-week,
But it hadn't even been brought to us for approval yet.
because it's a 3-week timeframe, that's all.
Again,
Yeah.
it seems like
Yeah.
it's rushed.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys put the cart ahead of the horse.
Well, no, it was the Parks and Rec Commission approved it.
Well, true, but
So-
it goes through this board. Park and Recs is just an advisory
No,
board.
it's not, it's a commission.
No,
But
it's a commission,
in the advisory position.
right, but it makes decisions.
Well, it does.
And we did
but-
make a decision.
But we do have to make the final decision here.
You're making a final decision as to whether or not she can take the money out of the fund balance. You're not making the final decision as to whether the cabins get moved, even though
And it-
you are.
And it
but
feels rushed, is what I'm telling you.
It's been
And-
worked on how
What-
long have we worked on it, Matt? I mean, it's been how many months? We are not rushing anything, Pat.
Well, the fact that we're saying no and you're panicking is
I'm
saying
not-
that
Where does that come from?
because you're saying, hey, it's got to get done. If it doesn't get done, we're going to have to reset everything. That seems like it's a panic.
Well, your interpretation of panic is completely inaccurate.
Okay.
All I'm
Okay.
saying is, excuse me, what I'm saying is that she has to take a bunch of steps necessary to correct this before Monday. That's all. And the Parks and Rec Commission did move forward, and we had to make sure that the reservation system matched the changes that were happening. So it's just, it has to all be undone at this point for Monday.
Yep.
Yeah, so the process of getting all this done, I have to start, just to, I guess, find the middle ground here. I have to start, it takes a month or so. Yeah, it takes 3 weeks for maps, but it also takes time working with Camp Spot, and it's not ready for certain things. So we have to kind of go out on a whim and prep with this online system. So we did get that in there. And then when it went through the Parks and Rec Board and it got approved at that meeting, I did ask the administrator, well, does it have to go in front of the Delta County Board of Commissioners now? And she had answered to me at that meeting, no, just the approval for the budget.
That's
Not
correct.
for, you guys voting on that. And I'm
That's what
not
I
saying
want.
that you shouldn't, I'm just saying that's my inexperience, because that's what I was told.
And so, as somebody who's voting on the money, I don't want to see something, the money that we're putting into it, just go down the river, out into the water. And so because of that,
Was that
Right, and
discussion
that's-
had at Parks and Rec Commission?
We talked about location of the cabins, and we talked about flooding, and we talked about high water marks, and yeah, all of that. But what I guess I'm getting to, Pat, for you to understand, so that you don't think I'm panicking, I'm actually planning,
Okay.
is that if that's the case, and we don't want that to happen, then we approve her ability to do this, so that then she can try to get the work done that you're talking about, look into those situations, and then have maintenance give her feedback on the cost for those 2 cabins, so that that can happen. And if it doesn't fit within the budget that we've provided, then she has to come back and ask for more. But it's the fund balance, it's the park's fund balance. If they need more, we would allot more.
so we're just a blank check then, is what you're saying?
Oh, my
You just said we're gonna a lot more. I just don't understand, if we're gonna do,
Clearly.
well, can I have the floor? If we're gonna do this, we need to do it right. And if we're gonna make our spots, and you're gonna book spots, if those spots don't exist, then what are we gonna do? It's gonna look foolish either way.
Well, they would exist. I mean, if
Well,
you're
not
gonna,
if we don't have them, like, if they don't exist, like, if we can't get approval, or we can't get those 2 and 3 put in place, or 4 and 3 put in place, we're gonna be booking things that don't exist.
right, but we would assume that we would have them done before May 8th when the park opens. That's, I mean, the planning process with the Parks and Rec Commission and with the maintenance has been, this is how, this is our timeline, so that we can get this stuff done. I
So-
mean, every time we talk about this at Parks and Rec Commission, we talk about the timeline. Yeah,
Heather,
Yes.
so if we did the addition 4 sites, so how many cabins, or what can't you book right now then? What ones what you cannot book?
The cabins.
It would just be the cabin section.
It'd be the
And-
4
And the day
Can't you just
section.
put everybody on hold for those cabins until that gets done?
yeah.
Until we get approval? You can still you can just tell people we are still debating how we're gonna do this.
Do you remember, I think you had the sheet, maybe even with you. What was the total that we had for usage out of those for all of last season, do you know?
17%. So they're
But
not
it's
paying
very
for
low.
themselves at all.
Yeah.
That's
Very
the,
low.
that's the alarming thing, but, I mean, I feel like, when I had the conversation with Mr. Delmont today, that we had a good backup plan, if Mr. Bessie is not, supportive of this. And it was also a pretty good contingency plan, but I just don't want to share that yet, so,
Because you may not hear back from him for a week.
that's right.
Well, what she can do in Camp Spot is the cabin, these 4 cabins could be inactivated or under
Correct.
development.
Correct.
So no one would be able to reserve them, and the rest of the park would be able to be reserved, including the 4 new not the 4 additional sites that are over in the campground. So yes, she can do that, absolutely.
Sounds like a plan to me.
And if we were to approve moving forward, then she can start the process with the budget that we've given, and she can come back and ask for more if she needs it. Otherwise, yeah, she'd have to come back and ask for all of it, you know.
I just soon put those under construction or whatever, and it's not gonna be what? When's your next meeting?
The 11th.
Is
December
that right?
11th?
Yeah, I think so.
You're only gonna be out maybe 2 weeks.
We can just put it on the agenda for our next meeting. right?
And you can have answers, you'll have your answer from
I would
Bessie
hope so,
and
but-
everything
It's
else.
just better to be thorough. I'd like that information on the flooding. I want to see
Yeah.
how many times that river is ice jammed and how much flooding has been going on. Because if we're gonna spend all this money to do stilts or piers or whatever we have to, I mean, what is the cost of that versus the probably, you know, the likelihood that we have another flood? Cause I mean, if you're talking, it happened in 1987 and then we had one time in 2020 where
Well,
the water
the lake
came up. I
level.
mean,
Well, lake levels
2020.
came up, but that area did not flood. It's never flooded from lake levels coming up.
Oh,
The
okay.
high water in 2020 was below where the current sites are. There were sites that had been developed below that high water mark, and those did get washed out.
Oh, okay.
But these sites that are above the high water mark have never been flooded.
okay.
I guess the other part, and this goes to previous conversation, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right the first time.
Yes.
It'll also be cheaper, even for concrete, if we're looking at footers going in, piers going in, floating slabs. It's a whole lot cheaper to have that done in
Right,
one
yeah.
group of deliveries and to break up multiple deliveries over
That's true.
however length of time, so, if that's
Because you're
one.
coming from such a far,
Well, and I was gonna say, is that one then, Park and Rec can pick it up, but do they wanna do those slabs then as well at Fuller and do it all in one shot? Again.
Oh, you mean the ones that are in the back already that exist?
And that,
Fixed,
and
right.
that Pioneer, yeah, that are having an issue moving around, let's
Oh,
just fix it. Fix the whole
Oh.
problem.
so you're throwing Pioneer in with it too?
If they're moving
Well-
around as well, from my understanding,
Yeah.
was that correct?
A little bit, yeah.
So if that's the case, let's see how much it is to take care of what we need for Fuller in the estimate, and then how much the additional would be for the ones in Pioneer. Let's just do it right the first time.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor
It was to defer it, I believe,
Right.
correct? Yeah.
to send it back to Parks and Recreation.
We have a motion support, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thank you
Motion
for your time,
passed.
Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 3. Parks 5-year rec plan.
I think this is just the notice of the 30-day window for public review. So that has happened, it starts today. Yeah, December 2nd goes through the 31st. So it's open for public review right now. It's still in draft form. So anyone who has comment or wants additional information to be added to the rec plan, if you go to the county's website, under the Parks page, there's an online form that can be filled out. You can submit that online. You can also call and talk, call on the phone and submit suggestions that way. Right now, it's out of QPAD's hands, and it's just in the 30-day window at this point. So there's no changes being made by the Parks and Rec Commission. And then I think what we need to do is we have to set the public hearing. And so the public hearing is the next step. After the 30-day review ends, the Parks and Rec Commission ingests whatever the public has suggested, and then that draft goes to the next step, which is the public hearing. And then the public hearing is with us. And then after the public hearing, Any suggestions from the public during that public hearing are then ingested into the plan, and then it's finalized, it would be at the January 20th Board of Commissioners
So
meeting.
the letter that's currently in here though, for the notice of it,
Yeah.
has the public hearing on the 6th of January,
that's
which
what
is
we-
not, yeah, but it can't be if we just talk what you just mentioned. Because the Park and Rec meeting, for them to have that digest that is on the 8th, it would have to be at the 20th meeting.
No, so,
But this says that this body would hold the public hearing for comments on the rec plan on January 6th.
right, so what's gonna happen after December 31st is, for our January meeting for the Parks and Rec Commission, which is on what date? It's
The
January
8th, I
8th or
believe.
something?
Yes.
Yeah, so, we have to have a special meeting in January, and we haven't done that, we haven't.
No,
We're
we
gonna
did
do
talk
that at the
about it.
next, but we'll have to have a special meeting to ingest any of the public comment from the 30-day window. So there's still 2 opportunities for the public to provide input. Right now, for 30 days, and the Parks and Rec Commission is doing nothing with that plan. Nobody makes any changes during that 30-day window. And then, after the public hearing as well. So the public has two inputs.
I just want to make sure procedure-wise we're right. So on January 6th, this body's going to hold the public hearing. And then on 8 January, the Park and Recreation Board's going to take all of that's digested, make their final
Exactly.
recommendation.
Yep, and then they're gonna, and then that is gonna come forward to this board on the 20th of January. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's how the schedule was planned out, so that we could meet that January 20th deadline, so we were done by February 1.
I just wanted, to make it, I guess, more clear.
Condensed.
That actually works, really, yeah, you just said
Because
it, yep.
if it is that way, where the public hearing is here on the 6th, for the public to realize it's not being voted on that night of the 6th.
No, it's
that's
being voted on the 20th, yes.
Correct. And that's
yes.
what I wanted to make
Yep.
sure
Yes,
everybody
thank
out
you.
there realizes
Yes.
there's 2 other steps of input that is gonna go on prior to that being voted on.
Exactly.
On the
It's
20th.
January 20th that this
Correct.
board would vote to finalize it. Yes.
So this is just more or less information for right now.
No,
Is this
motion
We-
Nope.
to post
Yeah.
the rec plan for the 30-day public comment period, which
Okay.
would now be open.
Yes, support.
Any more discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
And then we need a motion, I would make a motion to set the public hearing, January 6th.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Make a note here too. Number 4, medical examiner investigation contract. This is for the medical examiner investigation agreement between Angela Hughes and the county of Delta County of State of Michigan.
So my understanding, this is the actual written copy of what we previously had approved. We'd requested that we actually have the written copy of the administrator. If memory serves correct.
This, what you see on your screen should be the written copy of it.
Yeah. It's Angela Hughes
yeah.
and Marnell Thompson.
Thank you, I was just gonna say it's
Oh.
2 people, yep.
Yep.
Motion to ratify the contract.
Support.
Okay. And this needs to be a roll call, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Are we ratifying both contracts, or is it one contract?
It's 2 contracts.
It's 2 contracts.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay. I just
Did I
want to
cut it
make
short?
sure we're doing both
Yep.
of them,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Commissioner Vankenhoven,
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Melner,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes?
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passed. Number 5. This is the township zoning contracts, and it's for our townships Baldwin, Badenoch, Brampton, Cornell, Ensign, Fairbanks, Maple Ridge, NEMA, and Wells. Be 9 contracts.
I would move that we accept the township zoning contracts as presented.
Support.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 6 is the resignation of Kay DeGener. Request for lump sum payout and to fill dispatch position.
I would move that we accept the resignation and the request for lump sum payout and to fill the dispatch position and to send a thank you letter.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 7, airport. FAA memorandum of agreement renewal for AVADS.
Good evening, Commissioners. So this is just a lease that we've been extending every year, or renew it every year. It's with the FAA. They have certain equipment that needs maintenance that's done on it. There's a list, I think it's later on in the document, around page 7, that gives a list of all their equipment that's on there. And so I'm just asking for ratification on this. It was brought to the Airport Advisory Board and was ratified, I think, back in October.
It's approved.
So, and they're bringing it forward to the board here. So I'm just requesting for ratification.
Move to ratify.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you,
Number-
Ashley.
Number 8, Marquette County inmate housing contract.
I didn't see this
I don't
document
see it
in
on
our.
there either.
I
Yeah.
don't have it either.
I don't have a document.
This time sensitive.
It says, you just want it read from the email? It says, our jail administrator, Lieutenant Valier, and the sheriff both agree that we are at the place where we are able to take on inmates from Marquette County to assist them with overcrowding. They drew up a contract to be able to start with 10 inmates at the time and go from there. This contract is currently with the prosecutor to be reviewed before it is brought to the board. The sheriff is confident we have the staffing to withhold the increase, and they plan to charge Marquette County by the day per inmate. I am in support of this, as Mr. Salvo, and they did confirm with me that we would not be liable for their medical expenses while they are with us.
Yeah,
Come on up, Lauren. Thank you.
We had a draft of the contract that Lieutenant Valier, Jail Administrator Valier, I believe is proper title at this point, sent through to us. We had a fair amount of questions and corrections, so we've been going back and forth. It's still in the process of making sure that we're protected from a liability standpoint. So I think at this point, we're asking to have it tabled so we can get you a clean copy versus one that's completely written up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to table.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 9, closed session. For attorney opinion, county statement on airport. Nancy, do you have the,
I don't have that. I was down in training. I got back at 5 o'clock this afternoon, so,
Give me a second.
sorry.
I'll find it.
can't remember what it was either.
Whoops. Well, it doesn't mean it's going very fast, though.
MCL something,
Yeah, I just don't remember off the top of my
I
head.
don't either.
I think I have.
I can tell you. Just a minute.
I think I could have it pulled in here. I just went through all this. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Do a motion.
All right, I'll move that we enter closed session for attorney opinion for the county statement on the airport investigation And that would be in section 15.268, paragraph 8, subparagraph H.
Okay,
Support.
roll call?
Commissioner Jensen,
Yes.
Melner,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And Van Genhoven.
Yes.
Geez, I'm still at 12%.
Once here, one of these days, and just stick my card in. Sure. Every time I have it written down, I end up.
You decided to stay at my dad and Dad's like, well. Grandma said no. Right, so we're actually building on grandpa's position. Maybe something upstairs. We're like the second one.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I got it fixed, but I'm not really certain about it. Open it up. Here we go, yeah.
It just takes years. Right, and then they voted.
Before we would have to get the little shit out of the corner. Once you put it up in the center, I can't push all this along. If it was too much. I'm gonna try to get this out in 3 minutes. But you can't even get it. But here's the deck. Oh, yeah, and that doesn't always work, so. The parking lot is. Well, right, right. When he was up and had it all the way in the center, he came from the They have a corner, they have a pile on that end too. Problem is, this stuff goes normal center. Normal center. Well, we come down and go. And then I went through that, and then it's just more like a high school. So it's not fun. Yeah, just, you know, we try to get through that. The best thing.
So now you gotta take two more than fill up.
I'll take one now.
We did, blood sugar testing in that course, and so did it, and it's normal. And then I ate like 6 of those and finished a half a bottle of Squirt Off. Waited like 20 minutes, did it again. I was like sky high. It was neat to see.
Don't forget
what
your
the-
I'll make the motion that we come out of closed session where no decisions were made.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 10.
Yeah, we
hold
should
on.
finish out.
Oh.
I would make a motion that we accept our legal counsel's, thank you. I was like, what is the word I'm looking for? Our legal counsel's
I'm not the only one.
recommendation for the statement on the airport investigation. And then, who's talking? It's very distracting.
No. You're in the hallway, Chris.
It's just it's very distracting.
Yeah, that
It's okay.
happens.
Yeah, it's hard. The statement, I'll read the statement. The Delta County Board of Commissioners has reviewed materials related to the investigation that was initiated by the former members of the Board of Commissioners following their receipt of the FAA's 2023 periodic inspection of the airport and information from the Delta County Airport Administration. Efforts have been made to obtain any additional potentially relevant information that was not in the possession of Delta County, but rather that was alleged to have been produced through an investigation led by Attorney Scott Graham. However, no additional information has been provided by Attorney Graham, despite numerous requests from the board. As such, the Delta County Board of Commissioners is left with the conclusions drawn and documented by the FAA in a letter dated February 7th, 2024. Specifically, the conclusion that information provided to the FAA by the airport, as well as the airport's constructive attitude and sense of urgency towards compliance, led the FAA to determine that the matter and issues did not warrant legal enforcement action. Therefore, the issues related to the airport investigation is determined to be concluded. And then just make in the motion that we have this statement drafted on county letterhead and placed on file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. That was out there.
I don't know either.
Number 10, FOIA appeals. Did you give a number?
It's item 10.
No. Doesn't give me no numbers.
Yeah, I don't have any information on this.
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
Nothing.
other than what's in item 10.
It just says,
This just came in, so we'd be just acknowledging the receipt of it, correct?
But
Yes.
don't we have to acknowledge receipt of certain FOIA appeal numbers?
Well, and that's what I'm trying to see if there is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
I don't
see
think-
any.
Call our
don't see no.
prosecutor up to discuss it. Can we call our prosecutor up to discuss it?
And where are you guys getting this information?
It was in
Okay.
the items to be.
Items to be added?
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Got it, thank you.
Yep. But I didn't see numbers.
So there are no numbers to reference. It is a blanket appeal of every FOIA this particular requester has ever submitted that has not been previously addressed by this board.
What?
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
It is an appeal of all FOIAs that have been submitted, that our office or the county has responded to, that have not been previously addressed by this board in an appeal.
They would still have to be assigned, so the FOIAs would still have to be assigned numbers.
Correct. We're still working through which ones actually apply.
Oh, my goodness.
We're talking about probably 30 of them.
Yeah, I don't know if we
Can't
can do anything
acknowledge
without
receipt.
without a number.
That's how it came from the requester. I've spoken with, I've looked at the statute myself. I've spoken with individuals who are well-versed in FOIA. They've never seen a situation like this, so we're kind of flying without a net. And so
Okay.
there's, like I said, there's about 30 of them is my rough guess from what I was working on with Tracy yesterday and today. So it came in right at the end of the day on Wednesday.
I see.
So we can't, as a board, we can't, yeah, I mean, we don't have to act on it because we can't. We don't even know what the FOIAs are.
No, you can't act on it. I think you can receive the appeal, and then there can be further information. That's what we're working on. We just didn't, we didn't have time to finish compiling it
So
for
I
you all
we
today.
would just acknowledge the receipt of the appeal.
I think that's the only action at this point, and then it's going to have to be set for a special meeting that we can filter further information to you about which ones it applies to, which one. From my review, it looks like it's going to be piecemealed together on some of them because some of them relate to a fee estimate that the deadline has passed on.
Yeah, and I
It's
guess-
kind of a mess.
Yeah, it looks that way because like, there's not even like,
Time
I don't
frame.
even see the appeal, you know what I mean? So we couldn't even accept, because there's no language where it says, I appeal. I don't even see that in here. Maybe that's what it is, but I can't even read it.
If you scroll down, there's
It
not
says,
more.
"Dear
There's
Fo-
nothing.
Yeah, dear FOIA officer, this is a FOIA appeal under MCL 15.2401A regarding the repeated unlawful and obstructive denials and partial denials issued by the Delta County Prosecutor's Office.
So that does satisfy the appeal.
Gotcha. That's what I was
Yes,
looking for,
yep.
is like, where does it
Yeah.
actually say
That's under
that I'm
B10.
appealing
Did
it?
B10.
I finally did, yeah.
Keep scrolling.
It's below the email.
Oh, you're sitting, finish going.
So he doesn't
Yeah.
have to say which ones.
Do we know it's a he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it says it.
I'm literally
So-
trying to figure this out.
So everything that I can read on it, it does not specify. Quite frankly, everybody I've spoken to, the statute isn't anticipating this type of action, so it's not ever
that-
been addressed in terms of whether it has to specify this appeal versus that appeal, or this FOIA request versus that FOIA request.
Okay.
So I wish I had better direction for you.
So I think we would just accept the FOIA appeal
Yeah, acknowledge
at this
the
point,
receipt.
acknowledge it.
But how do we do that without a number?
Well, we're just acknowledging the person appealed, they did a FOIA appeal, we don't know which FOIA they're appealing, but I know, this is,
No.
yeah, it's very,
Sorry.
it's very
Very.
interesting. I have no idea how to move forward with it, because typically you have a FOIA that you can read the language of the appeal and understand what the person is appealing, but in this case,
Well, wouldn't
I don't see it.
But wouldn't it be more, like, it would make more sense that you have this, and then the prosecutor's office figures out which case numbers they are, and then they bring them forward to us with numbers on them, correct?
So part of that problem is not every FOIA he's ever submitted to the county relates to only our office. this appeal seems to connect to our office, but we can't sit here and specify that it was not one that was directed more towards the sheriff's department.
Oh,
But isn't
gotcha.
that something that you guys would have to funnel through before you brought to us to accept?
I didn't bring this to you. This was not coming from me. I'm
So-
sure simply trying to give you background.
I guess,
Okay, sorry
Not
about
me.
that, okay.
So that's what I was working on Tracy today, is to give some semblance of direction.
Yeah,
But I had a list, she had a list, those lists didn't match up. And then that's when I started thinking about, I know other appeals, or excuse me, other FOIA requests went to other departments. Most specifically, I could think of the sheriff's department. I guess I don't know if other departments also received them. I believe admin has responded to. So without further direction, I think there's really two options. One, you receive it as is, and we try to put together a list. Honestly, I don't know if we'll be able to put together a comprehensive list, but we'll do our best. Or you find that it's not a valid appeal from the standpoint it does not specify. Those are about the only two options I can come up with.
I guess the hard part with it being so ambiguous, like you said, could be your office, one could be within the admin, one could be the sheriff's department. I mean, it's not tailored in any, I mean, it's like the county in general. I mean, it would be kind of tough just to say, okay,
It's
But-
further complicated by the fact that most of the all of the FOIA requests at this point have flown through administration, even if they ultimately ended up in our office, because we're the ones with the responsive records. And so, the more I look at it, the more complicated it gets, unfortunately.
What would you recommend that we do?
I don't feel like I can give a legal recommendation because it relates to my office. That's the problem.
Okay, I wasn't asking for a legal recommendation. I was just like, what's your gut tell you that we should do at this point? Because it's so odd.
If you'd asked me on Wednesday versus today, I would give you two different answers,
Okay,
honestly.
all right.
It's one of those situations where I don't know if there's a right answer, I don't know if there's a wrong answer, I don't know.
okay.
I feel like
then-
we shouldn't take an action.
Well, I was gonna say, what's the ramifications of us not taking an action?
I-
Until we actually have that.
I believe if you don't, because you have, I think you would have to,
We don't have the
So,
stump
information.
me.
I mean,
We don't have the
we-
information we need to be able to make a decision, so what's the ramifications?
So legally,
Let's-
you have to receive an appeal on the next regularly scheduled meeting, which would be tonight. From there, you have a 10 days to make a decision. You can, under certain specific extenuating circumstances, extend that an additional 10 days.
Right.
I don't know what happens if you essentially refuse to or don't receive it because you're looking for clarification. I did not find any direction on that because I didn't look into that avenue very far.
Well, what if we do receive it? I mean, what's the big deal if we receive it?
Starts
I
at
don't-
10-day
It
clock.
starts at 10 o'clock.
Exactly, I know that. but-
And we would have to schedule a special meeting, and then we would have to figure out what this applies to.
Right.
And we can't deny based on no clarification,
Yeah,
can we?
No, I mean, we have to have something.
I think that would be a valid response in terms of there's no basis for the appeal because you can't associate the appeal to a specific request.
That would be the way to do it.
That would be the way I'd want to do it.
But this hasn't, so, I understand, because that's the easy way to go, right? It's like, that would be.
Well, it's,
Well, it's not
he,
easy. I
he
think it's
threw
the-
something at us and like, there's no direction. Like usually when you get a FOIA appeal, you say, oh, you're appealing this, but we don't have that. So how, like, it's up
So-
to the petitioner to point us where to go and the petitioner's not pointing us there.
So what you're recommending is that we accept it, which is our role, we have to, and then without even looking at anything, we would just be denying it. We'd be upholding the denial.
Well, I mean, I would like more information, but it doesn't sound like we're gonna, like, no matter what net our prosecutor casts or our sheriff casts or our administrator casts, we don't even know that we're gonna get everything in the net
I
that
understand
he's
that.
sending to.
I
So
understand that.
We're kind of darned if we do, darned if we don't.
If we do something, just make it, or we don't have the information.
Well,
because
There
this
is none.
This is for
Well,
prosecutor.
technically there is. I mean, there is, this person does talk about, now that I can see it, improper blanket exemptions, violation, I mean, they clearly are stating that there's,
Right.
what they're appealing, but it's not specific to an actual FOIA request, it's in general, which is really odd. I mean, typically, we're looking at an actual request, and these are sort of blanket, like it's all, I'm appealing violations of duty to assist the requester. So it doesn't matter.
Applies to all 30,
It
potentially.
applies to all of them,
Correct.
right. So I guess my concern is, if I were to, God forbid, have to look through all 30 of them, but if I did, what if there was one that I was like, you know what? I agree, this one shouldn't have been denied. That's what I'm worried about by just blanket saying we just accept the denial, because,
So the
Well,
further,
tonight you're accepting the appeal until you get more,
But-
That's
but-
what I'm.
more information.
okay, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
But Patrick also said that we could also just we could just uphold the denial. So that's what I'm talking about right now, is that he had suggested we accept and then just accept the denial.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I guess looking through versus what the individual has in here for bullet points, if there's stuff that we've already done that were within partial denials or prices or burden, he wants us, and we've already said this is what it is, he wants us to basically set aside the decision we previously made.
But do we know that for sure, that it's on ones that are off? Because if
So
he's
he would-
appealed them, he can't appeal them
correct, he
again.
would have no grounds
Yeah.
to
Right.
They're not the same
reappeal. So
ones.
the 30 I'm talking about are ones that he has not previously appealed.
Correct.
Okay, now were those 30 that they were already a decision that was determined by yourself, the administration, or whatever, whether this is a duplicate question or some other matter like that where it wouldn't have,
I guess I'm a little bit confused
he
now.
basically asked for the same thing again, what he previously asked for, and he was already given an answer.
Oh, I see. So you're saying if he submitted a FOIA request after this board made a decision that was duplicate of a FOIA request that this board had already decided?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know.
None are
is that what
immediately
those are?
coming to mind that would fit that scenario.
Okay.
I can't say for 100% certain, but none are immediately coming to mind.
Well, I would make a motion to accept this appeal and at least get that far. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to just,
So there's no
Support it.
So there's no requirement that there's a number attached to it.
So the only interpretation related to that, and it's a narrow interpretation, is that every portion of the statute refers to singular. So it is an appeal of a request, not appeals of requests. If you want to get really into statutory interpretation and go into law school, that becomes a really fun place to go. But that was one avenue. I looked at every iteration because I knew this would be a question, and that was
Yeah.
that was one answer I had. I had the other answer, receive it and try to figure out what it applies to.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I've never seen where it is multiple requests.
And based
You
off
appeal
of
a singular.
what she had just pointed out for statutory, the only thing that we have the requirement to do at this point is acknowledge the receipt of it.
I get it.
That gives
but
them the
I'm talking-
time
yeah.
to-
I'm just saying, can we acknowledge receipt of it without a number?
Is,
That's, I think, our own tracking number, is it not?
No,
It is actually an internal tracking number.
but every FOIA,
Could you
a FOIA
include that
is
in the
tracked.
motion?
There's a number associated with
It is. So when I have to present the 30 ones that we are looking at here, they will all have associated numbers, yes. I think the way to maybe document it or have a placeholder is you have FOIA appeal dated on such and such a day. I can't recall the exact date that was on it.
Thank you.
is he giving us direction when he says, I mean, this is really loose, but when he says, this is a FOIA appeal under MCL, regarding the repealed, unlawful, and obstructive denials and partial denials issued by Delta County Prosecutor's Office. I mean, so basically he is saying the prosecutor's office with that.
Correct.
So at least we know it's not the sheriff, it's not the administrator. So he's given us a little direction,
He goes on to say 2024 to 2025, and we
Right.
had none in 2024, so.
yeah. Okay. So he wants 2 years,
When we did not have one in 2024.
right?
But it is specific to the prosecutor's office
Yep.
in his introduction.
Correct, but they all are also cross-signed by, yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Lauren.
Yep.
Clear as mud.
Motion and support.
Yeah, could you ask her to restate the motion for me, please?
Yes.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, excuse me, and seconded by Commissioner Johnson to accept the appeal dated November 26, 2025.
Thank you.
You want a roll call vote on this? Or no? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Oh, number 12, general public comment. Any general public comment?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 10 days, right? Okay.
Right.
Let's, before we get to general public comment, John, let's set that meeting, okay? Is it 10 I can't remember. Is
It's
it
10 days,
days?
10
Okay.
days,
10
yeah.
10
10
days.
calendar days. Is it 10 business days? Sorry. Yeah, because it's not the weekends, yeah. That's why it doesn't work with our meetings, because it has to be by 4 PM, and our meetings are after 4 PM. If we had afternoon or morning meetings, then it would work.
The 15th?
So that would be,
Where's my calendar this
That would be the 10 days, captain would be the morning of the 16th, then, correct?
Yes.
And that's our Board of Commissioner meeting, so.
That night.
yeah.
We can either move that meeting, or if we wanted to move that meeting,
Well, Monday at 9 AM. Is
the
that too early?
15th,
On the 15th?
it works for me.
Works for me.
Works for me.
Okay,
Okay. Monday, the night, 15th, right?
Yep.
Monday the
Yep.
15th,
9 a.m.
9 AM. Okay.
Here.
Yep.
Do we need a motion and a second?
I'll move that we set the special meeting for the FOIA to December 15th at 9 AM here at the Service Center.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Now, general public comment. Anything on your phone?
No, there's no remote public comment.
Three minutes, I'll attempt it.
Hold
It's
on.
everything.
Hold on.
we'll
Just
get
getting
you.
it back over to the
We'll get
clock.
you.
One second.
If I
There
start
we
now,
go.
I'd get an extra 2
Got
seconds.
it.
Okay, Fuller Park. First of all, like I said, I've been attending all the rec meetings. From what I understand, the full board was never informed about Fuller Park, all the history about Fuller Park. When Mary Harrington was the chairman, she brought up that she wanted a history of Fuller Park. And there were two of us who were going to present that history. That got voted down, so that never happened. But Bob Ashbacher and Steve View asked for me to take them out there, so I did. I gave them why we did things, basically, and that was the different reasons. Then Heather called and said, I heard you went out with 2 commissioners. I'd like to go. So I went back out with Heather and Commissioner View. At the last meeting, Commissioner View brought up a couple of things, but he was shut down because of the ordinary high water mark. And so the only history I can think of that was on this board would be Pat Johnson, because he was the Parks Commissioner when he was on here. So he was out there through a lot of the discussion. And so basically, he's close to being right on some things. The ordinary high water mark for Lake Michigan is 580 and a half feet. State high water mark. Fed high water mark is 1 foot higher. The ordinary high water mark is what it says, ordinary. That's not flood stage. Flood stage out there, there's 3 of them. And if you look at all 3 of them, all you gotta do is pull them up on the flood stages, you can find them all. It shows the coloring blue right over different things. The difference from 1986, which was brought up in 2020, was that In 1986 and 2020, it was a half an inch different COM, if you could ever find Lake Michigan COM, okay, coming from the core. The difference was a 65-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast. So basically, lower Michigan hitting Fuller Park, hitting Portage Point. The reason I know about Portage Point, I have a cousin there, and it happened in November. They could not access Portage Point when you dropped down because there was 5 foot of water standing there. So when we took over the park, I asked Elegert and Rivard, same thing with Fuller Park. So there was a commitment to the Bessie Foundation to not put them there because of those chances. So it's going to depend on lake level, it's going to depend on rivers, it's going to depend on snow melt, whatever else, just like the Ford River. And I'm very familiar with ice flows on that Ford River because I did a lot of work for individuals. Going to lose everything here. Why are the cabins not producing what they should? Because there's no electricity. We knew that at Pioneer. That's why the stuff got put in. UPCO plans, the biggest cost is the transformer and the cost to UPCO. They're going to do that for free. So just wiring those is nothing. So I was really glad to hear from this board, slow down, let's really take a look at this. Oh. I'm done.
Go ahead. Oh, is that 3 minutes
That's 3
already?
minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Sorry.
sorry.
But if anyone is to talk about the piers and things like that, I'd be happy to.
Any other general public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Johnson.
We had a really good old-fashioned Christmas in Gladstone. It was attended by a lot of people and really good crowd. So thank you for Gladstone for putting that on.
Commissioner Kelly.
No, thank you.
Commissioner Jensen.
Yeah, I have 2 things. First one, big thank you to all the volunteers that helped with the community dinner for Thanksgiving. I know it was a ton of man-hours that went into it. My understanding from what their projection was to where they ended up is somewhere around 800 meals is what they actually did. So the exact, I just know it's around that. They were actually projecting a little less than that. So big shout out to all those folks that helped with that. The other one is, don't forget, for those that are around, looking for something to do, have some hot cocoa. The Escanaba Christmas Parade is this Friday at 6 p.m. Come out and see all the wonderful floats and your first responders out.
Commissioner Williams.
So I was asked by Heather Leduc, our Parks Manager, to let the public know that there's a new pavilion rental calendar that's available on the county's website, on the parks portion of the county's website, so that you can see very easily when the pavilions are being rented and when they're available. So that's a great new feature. And then the Warple Radio Show, Thursday, December 4th at 8:30 a.m. Will be on talking about the parks. So you listen in on that. And I think that's all I've got for now.
Nancy, you have anything?
Nothing for me, thanks.
Okay. It was kind of a slow month for me because of hunting season and Thanksgiving. Townships were moving their meetings around and I didn't get to some of them. And I missed some of my other committee meetings because of certain things. I did make the MAC meeting and just a couple of things they went over was the MAC Executive Committee updates. They give county update, do updates. There are maybe 1 or 2 counties that have not paid their dues yet. They had a MAC legislative update. Dina Bosworth, Director of Government Affairs, give us some news about what was going on. Not much really in Lansing. The MAC communication update, the director give us some communications and marketing and association management solution. Tammy Cornell, she's the director of the member events. She schedules the events as we go through our thing. And then we had an update from Amy on the opioid updates. But other than that, there wasn't really a whole lot going on. Also, I believe December 5th and 6th, the Steam and Gas have their thing over at the Steam and Gas Show.
Yeah.
So, and I think they request a can or two of food to get in, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, that's all I have. And our next board meeting is going to be 12/15 at 9 o'clock, right here at the Service Center. And then our next meeting is, guys, believe this or not, 2026, 1/6 of 2026.
Actually, it's the 26th, or, because the 15th is the special meeting, correct?
We have
For the
12,
FOIAs?
16, 25, and 1/6, 26.
Right, that's
Yeah.
the regular meetings, but
The
there's
regular
special
meeting,
meetings.
Special meeting.
Oh, we got that one special one,
Yep,
Yes, on the 15th.
50.
9 AM.
Okay. 30-day notice of appointment, Department of Human Resources, that's a state appointment, Building Authority, Airport.
We did those.
Board, yep, those
Just,
are all
uh,
done,
you know.
construction and zoning's all done. Board of Health is done, Parks and Rec is all done, Planning Commission's done. Superior Trade Zone, there is at least one opening there. I need a motion to adjourn.
I will move that we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's over.
6 minutes short of 2 hours.